welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Going, Gosh, and with me today, going to this review, it's Camden Spees and Nessie McPeter. Say hi, guys.
Hi, that was really weak.
They can't all be winners, but thankfully this cartoon is a winner and we'll certainly be discussing it. And
great.
I'll just get a few things out of the way first. So this is, as mentioned, Going, Gosh, released on the 23rd of August 1952. It's the 657th in the series and it's directed by, well, who else? Chuck Jones. You can find this short on the Looney Tunes Golden Collection Volume 2 DVD set and on the Looney Tunes Platinum Collection Volume 2 Blu-ray set. I can't show you the full thing here due to copyright on YouTube, but what else am I going to say about the synopsis? Cody's hungry. He wants Roadrunner. Series of gags.
I would like to start us off with a quote from Jim Henson from John Colley's book, Cartoon Superstars, which I've been looking at recently about this thing, because I'm sure a lot of your listeners are Jim Henson buffs. Here it is. This quote from Jim Henson. It says, "You tend to root for both characters. You want the Roadrunner to win because he's an innocent. You want the Coyote to win because he deserves it after all he's been through." Jim Henson. And I have one other quote from Harry Love, producer at Hanna-Barbera and the Warner Brothers. And he says, "The best stuff Chuck ever did with the Roadrunners." And I think that the guy who wrote them, Mike Maltese, should get as much credit as he did.
I always find the comments on the Roadrunners animation interesting because they were often made with remaining budgets from my knowledge, and you can kind of see that in this one where there's a lot of just held poses, there's a lot of far out shots where you can animate with less detail, there's a lot of speed, which means less frames for cycles, etc., etc.
Yeah, and he also, on top of that, Jones by this point was an absolute master knowing just how long to hold poses and hold certain frames for maximum effect, and that, of course, plays very well in the Roadrunner series, and it's a great series. As for trivia, there really isn't anything except, I guess, the title is a pun on how an auctioneer would say going, gone. But aside from that, this is your typical Roadrunner short, but thankfully, like pretty much all of them, it's a magnificent cartoon, and I figure with this one, we just go through the whole thing from start to finish, gag by gag. What do you say, boys?
Yeah.
We get the Latin names. At this point, they're kind of simple. We've got Accelerati Incredibilis and Carnivorous Vulgaris. Look, later on they get really crazy with them, but they're still pretty good, I would
think
say.
one of those revival shorts from much later on, they use the real Latin names, which is just weird to me.
One great bit of animation, and it's probably my favorite bit of animation in this one, in a whole short filled with great animation, but I like the freeze frame, and then it speeds up with Cody just wrapping himself up. I don't know, I just like that effect. Just starts slow and then just builds up and then he just then undoes himself, so to speak.
Good gag.
I think everything in this short is great. I think, as I just quoted, Chuck's best cartoon work is the Roadrunner, and I would agree with that.
Exactly. Even in the 80s and 90s where Chuck Jones was making shorts which people weren't exactly connecting as well to, especially those Bugs Bunny shorts that he made, and of course the Duck Dodgers sequel, but it was always the Roadrunner shorts that was still praised, even up until his very last one in 1994.
Yeah, Chariots of Fur.
Yeah, which was still a great one. But one thing I did notice when watching this short compared to the previous one, Beep Beep, which didn't come out that far behind this one, are the backgrounds. Now, Maurice Noble is not in the scene just yet, and I can't wait till he is. I love his work, and I'm sure you boys totally agree with that. But compare the backgrounds from this short to Beep Beep. They're the same people, and yet here it comes across as way more simplified. It's not abstract in terms of what Maurice Noble would do, but rather than painstakingly paint the backgrounds, here they're more broad strokes, especially in the first scene when you look in the background. And I think it's incredible.
I think the main thing that draws me is the fact that the color palettes are getting more simplified, especially in the scenes where it's just the rocks, where it's just like 3 different colors. They're using just 3 different colors for the majority of it, and with some simple textures.
Yeah, and it does pretty much confirm that these were just done to meet certain quotas. They were quick to do, and one of the things you can make things a lot quicker. Yeah, you can make things done more quicker if you just simplify the backgrounds, because really, your focus is on the main 2 characters and nothing else. Looking at these gags one by one, first of all, we get the dynamite arrow, and I just love the jubilation on Cody's face for a brief moment, and then, of course, he realizes, whoops, I've still got the arrow. Then boom, nice little simple gag.
That was the main one I was thinking of when I looked at it and I was trying to explain how these were made with smaller budgets. Of course, by this point, budgets were slowly beginning to dry up, but here they're even going a bit further, of course. And you can just see how Chuck's really holding them. We don't really see the Roadrunner that much, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I think that that's also his own doing, though. I don't think that's budgetary reasons as much as he's just having fun. Because if you don't pay attention to the budget, you're just having fun watching it.
Exactly. But Jones still likes to do his own thing. A case in point in the next gag, where we get the slingshot. It's pretty straightforward and simple, but hey, it's still pretty effective. And he would do similar gags with the slingshot in future shorts in various ways. And of course, hey, if something worked good the first time and these things weren't made to be binged, why not reuse them, right? But he works pretty well. But a gag I love is the cement gag, right? The quick drying cement. And as someone who has dealt with cement, no, quick drying cement doesn't quite work that way, but that's okay. Cartoon logic and all that. And one little touch I enjoyed was that, okay, he's smoothing over the cement, but then he just for a brief moment lifts his hand back up just to fix up one little bit in the corner. Just that added touch. And hear a little bit of music as well for that, to accentuate it. But you do have to wonder if the cement didn't dry so quickly on the road, why did it dry so quickly on him when it lands on him? But anyway, whatever. Again, cartoon logic, folks.
Yep.
But it's great. Absolutely great. Then we got the grenade gag, and this is one of those gags in the Cody shorts where you think, you're probably onto something here, but maybe try it again, but in a different way, because this could work, but no.
This is one of those moments where you just feel bad.
Yeah, this is just something very...
Because, for example, if you put Sylvester and Tweety or commentary, you really don't feel bad for those characters, Tweety or Sylvester, because they're just bullies in a way. But he tries so hard, and the Roadrunner doesn't. It's not like a very personality character. It's really the Coyote that's what matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think what Henson said about you rooting for both the Coyote and the Roadrunner is remarkably accurate, because the Roadrunner is a really non-existent character. He's just a force in these. Although, of course, in the final gag of this, where he's in the bus or trailer or whatever it is, you see him in there and they treat him like a character, but you never get a sense of his personality other than the fact he does meep meep.
Yeah. Exactly.
But what was that?
I thought there was like an error on the recording or something. But the grenade gag is basically just a Cody of being a victim of circumstance. He was just bad luck that he had the rock just fall on him. And then the way the gag builds is that, okay, you got the initial gag where, of course, he can't get out. He gets blown up. But then he comes out, he's all blown up, basically. And then we get bang with the sewer lid. And then again, boom, the rock again. Ta-da!
That's one of those moments where you just kind of feel bad for him.
Exactly. 100%. Then we get probably my favourite gag, only because the Cody looks so great in drag. The whole old Virginie or bust. That whole old Virginie or bust, was trying to look up if that was a reference to anything. The only thing I could find was that it might be a reference to a tobacco ad campaign of some kind. But yeah, if you guys know the answer to it, let me know in the comments below, because I'm not a smoker, so I don't know too much about cigarettes, of course. But yeah, you get the whole, I've already got a date, and, well, I don't know how that works out, because Roadrunners apparently can't read, but so how can they write? But anyway, we just go with it. Then we get sort of a repeat gag built up from the one in Fast and Furious, where in that one, he paints a tunnel, and of course Roadrunner goes through, Cody tries to follow him, and ends up hitting his face on the side of the actual cliff. In this one, it's the same idea, but it actually goes a few steps further. So here, he paints a picture showing the road continuing. That's a dead-end road. And again, he likes to add the extra touch of the clouds in the corner that... He just has to be a perfectionist, right? That's why I like the Cody here. So the same thing happens, as you'd expect. The Roadrunner continues on this fake road. But then this time around, we get a truck coming back from the other side. And of course now, the Cody then tries to go through. He smashes through the picture, and then it's, oh no, and we see in the clouds, and yeah, he falls. That's a great one. Do you guys think that worked better than the one in Fast and Furious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that happened with almost every time they reused a gag, where if it wasn't being reused identically, being used one-to-one, they were always building on it.
Now, we get a longer gag involving a rock, and I love the direction in this, how the tension where, okay, as an audience, we know the Roadrunner's not going to get hit by the rock. We all know this, but the direction is done so well that you kind of forget that for a brief moment, and you think, oh, the Roadrunner might actually get hit. We get the close-ups, then the rock just ends up going off track, it flings up, hits this part of the mountain which has a golf flag for some weird reason, and goes down and hits the Cody. Very long gag, though.
Good gag. I always look at these things a bit more from an art looks. Again, like Porky said, I'm an artist. So I always try to look at these things from that, and there's very nice layout in this, and of course the timing's always there.
Oh, definitely.
I love that little plea and a little almost childlike look on his face. Where yes, finally got him. He's just smiling, watching. Hey, look at it go.
And then the look on his face when he realizes the Rock has gone behind him. I do want to point out how much of a mad genius Cody is to take all these seemingly random items and then put together in some weird contraption like an old street sweep container and, of course, the balloon and all that sort of stuff. It's a contraption where you think, how on earth is this going to even work? Even if you drop the anvil, it would just be too slow. This is not a good idea. This is awful. And of course, he forgets to compensate for the weight loss once the actual anvil goes. But anyway. But Camden, you wanted to mention something regarding the balloon.
The Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta has used the Roadrunner as its mascot since 70s, since it first began, where I'm actually quoting from Wikipedia because I honestly don't know a lot about this festival other than I know the artists who do all the poster work. First Fiesta incorporated a Roadrunner Coyote balloon, with one balloon being the Roadrunner and the others being the Coyote balloons. The Roadrunner balloon was always shown with both the Roadrunner characters. The winner of the race, the Coyote that landed closest to the Roadrunner, would be the winner of the festival. And this is still something they've done years later, and the characters are actually the mascots of the festival. Every poster you see has the Roadrunner Coyote on it.
And after that really weird gag involving the weather balloon thingy contraption that he's done, we actually finish with what I like to call the final act of desperation. The Cody's just so desperate at this point. Just you can see the look on his face, and especially with that spear, where he's, you know what, I don't care, I'm just doing this. And then you can see the close-up of his eyes, where he's finally going to get the Roadrunner, and then, of course, it's the truck.
Yeah, the truck that has the Roadrunner.
Exactly, so we finish up nicely. Now, in terms of your favourite gag, SE, we'll start with you. Which one of those gags would you say is your favourite in this short?
I would probably say the gag with the painting, because I love the finishing touch with the smoke just saying, "Oh no."
It's a great one. Absolutely great. What about you, Camden?
Boulder. I just love the way that's laid out, the Boulder one.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, if he caught this character, how would he eat him? Because half the gags would either make it too bloody, like how can you eat a character that's just been run over by a boulder?
Yeah, cartoon logic, I suppose. But I guess the hunger's getting to him, so he's not quite thinking straight. It is what it is.
And now my good friend John wants to give his thoughts on this short, which is his first Wile E. Coyote one. So take it away, John.
Hi there. I'm here to give my thoughts on Going Gosh, the third Roadrunner of Wile E. Coyote short. I love the characters. I think I've seen every single Roadrunner cartoon, and this one is another classic one that I remember a lot from watching it as a kid. The first couple of Roadrunner shorts are among my favorites because of how memorable and how great the gags are. And this is seen from the beginning, where the Coyote and the Roadrunner are introduced again with the Latin text on there, but this time, unlike the previous two shorts where the introduction was something similar, and here it changes to see the Coyote is almost gonna catch the Roadrunner, but he eventually spins himself. Another one in this short had to do with a crossbow and dynamite. That's another gag that I really remember enjoying the first time I watched it, and it's one that will be used later in future Roadrunner shorts, but with different variations so it doesn't get repetitive. Another thing I want to highlight are the beautiful backgrounds. In here, at least, the backgrounds are starting to look a little bit different to how they were on Fast and Furious and Beep Beep. Like, it's trying to go less realistic and more cartoony approach like the other Looney Tunes shorts. And I really enjoyed that. There's also a lot of other gags on this short that I could go on. But overall, this is another 10 out of 10. I just adored the first couple of Roadrunner shorts. And there's still more Roadrunner to talk about on the following years, as Jones will go on to make more and more cartoons with the character. And that's all that I have to say, and I'll see you in the next video.
As for rating, am I really going to give this one any less than a 10 again? I know some people might be going, what? You're giving another 10? You just gave Beep Beep 10. It's like, yeah, these two are perfect in execution. I think in the end, I'm probably going to end up rating these anywhere between a 9 and a 10. I have to rewatch a lot of them, because there's a few I still haven't even seen yet.
Even the Rudy Relieve Us?
The Chuck Jones ones, of course. But,
The ones that were done by Chuck's animators, like the one that Abe Levitt directed or the one that Ken Harris directed, are equally good, though,
yeah,
too.
and I will definitely revisit those once we get to that point. But SE, what would you rate this one?
9. I've said it before, I say it again, I don't believe in perfect films, but this one is pretty darn good.
I'm the opposite. I do believe in perfect films because I have a hard time giving bad scores to things that are not really Roadrunners.
Of course. Can't wait to get to those ones, but anyway, so that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and until next time, take care.
That's all, folks.